Okay.
Yeah, all right. Good morning. I'm Jeremy from Property Inspection Manager, and I'm laughing my head off already because I just had Phil walk through the door and say, Jez, you've got to let people into the room.
Oh, there you go.
So g'day, guys. So I'm sat there and I'm looking at all this stuff. So as part of this wonderful technology pitch, lovely to see you all. I will have to allow people into this session as we go, so bear with me. As I say, I'm Jeremy. Today's session with Property Inspection Manager is going to focus on PropertyTree and the integration between PropertyTree and PIM. So with Phil, Nikki, and the development team here working with PropertyTree, have done some really cool stuff. So I'm going to run through the integration between the two programs, how it exchanges data, and the new features that are in here. What I'd love to just mention to you first, though, is we actually had 70+ registrants or registered for this session. So in terms of asking questions, I'd really, really appreciate it if you use the chat feature that's down on the bottom bar. And if you ask questions, you'll be able to get an answer from Nikki, or we'll come back to you after the session with email. So I may try and do a question and answer at the end if I've got time, but in the meantime, bear with me and use the chat or send an email to support@propertyinspectionmanager.com. Can you just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay and see me okay? Excellent, great. Great, thank you so much. The other thing I'm about to do is I'm about to share my screen. So, yeah. So give me a thumbs up if you can now see my screen, and an extra one if you can see this beautiful little puppy who is, yeah, okay, so I've got puppy spam going on here. This is our latest addition to the family, 9 weeks old. If I'm looking knackered, it's because I always look knackered, but more so than ever, he was up all night last night. So here he is, Harlem. Harlem has joined us with Mojo. Next thing I'm going to do, though, is I'm just going to bring up my browser, and I'm going to bring up PropertyTree, okay? So what I want to show you is within PropertyTree, what you can do is schedule your inspections on a property. And we can exchange data between the two programs. So what we've got here is, for a property, I'm going to choose this one that we made earlier, COVID Close in Perth.
This better.
Made earlier, COVID Close.
That's better.
If there's any chance of turning off microphones at your end, that would be fantastic.
But here is somebody else.
Yeah, if we can turn off microphones, just get some feedback. Yeah, so within PropertyTree, with a property, you can actually assign a profile to a property. So I've got COVID Close here. It's a house. And what we can do is, if you set up within PropertyTree the different types of property, so whether it's an apartment or a house, or if it's a commercial property like land development, when you set up an inspection the first time, it will send across to PropertyTree the details for the inspection, including the property type. So it'll just help you to set up your inspection quicker. Yeah. Sorry guys, there's somebody that's got a microphone on here. I think I can probably switch off everybody's microphones if I'm clever enough. But if you could switch off microphones, that would be great. Okay. Super. Great. So starting off in here, I'm going to go to inspections, and I've actually got an upcoming inspection scheduled for this property. So between 8 and 9 o'clock this morning, assigned to PIM support. The inspection has been confirmed. So I can go into here and I can actually look at the inspection itself. All right. So my inspection is confirmed for that time. What I can also do in here is, you'll see underneath the inspection time, I've got some general notes. So what you can do now is you can put some notes within PropertyTree that get pushed into the inspection so that the inspector can actually see that they need to remember to do some things. I've actually had to move houses twice this year, and surprisingly enough, my property manager had to tell me to get out because my owner was coming back from the USA. So I put in here some notes to discuss with tenant. The owners will be returning from the USA, will not be renewing the lease. I need to find a new property. That information will now get pushed back to, or pushed to PIM for when I do my inspection. All right. So what I've got in here is a confirmed inspection. It's set for today. It will bring across a house profile, and I've got some general notes. So I'm going to come out of this screen, and I'm going to change over now to my iPad. So into my iPad, go to screen mirroring. That's Jeremy. I could just really appreciate a thumbs up when you see a change to the screen. Yeah, great stuff. Okay. Now I can come into here and you'll see Property Inspection Manager. So when you integrate between PropertyTree and Property Inspection Manager, within PropertyTree itself, you generate the API key, you send it to us, and then we can link the two programs. So I'm just going to increase the size here. The first time I go into PIM, I go into my settings. I've got on the front page of settings, I've got advanced integrations, and I can come into here and I can enable the PropertyTree link. So that allows me to exchange data between PropertyTree and PIM. I have some options in here, and I can import confirmed inspections. So we only import confirmed inspections for a period of 7 days in advance or 14 days in advance. I'm just going to choose that 7 days today. So I have a choice, okay? And that's all there is to it. As long as inspections are confirmed within PropertyTree, they will be imported into PIM. What I can also do is just go back a step into my settings, and we have in settings these things called smart property profiles. I have created in here an apartment, a house, a land development, and a large 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom property. As long as I have that property profile assigned to the property in PropertyTree, when it comes into PIM, it will set up the inspection as, in this instance, a house with a garden, an exterior, 2 bathrooms, 3 bedrooms, and all the other areas associated with that type of property. And also, very importantly, it includes the maintenance required, suggested improvements, our summary, and tenant summary. And it will become more evident in a second why that's important, because we can now push back, as well as completed reports, information that goes back into PropertyTree for maintenance items for the landlord to acknowledge and understand, and also for tenant notes to go back straight into PropertyTree as well. So as I unravel, this will show you more and more and more. Okay. So now I am set up, I'm ready to go. You'll see on the bottom bar of PIM, you've got the import function. If I go into the import function and I pull to refresh the inspections, that will go out and find any inspections that I've got available to bring in, and I've got scheduled or confirmed within PropertyTree. So I'm just going to bring these in. You can choose to import all of them, or you can choose to tick the ones that you want to bring in and import those. So I'm going to bring COVID close in. I'm also going to bring in this apartment, Cambridge Street. So I just tick those. I go to the top right-hand corner where the little action button is, and I'm going to import the selected. I'm going to bring those across, and that should bring those into PIM for me. So you'll see in here that the information that's brought across from PropertyTree, the address details, the property profile, the owner details, and we can also bring in now whether it's a routine inspection or whether it's an entry or an exit inspection as well. So that's a big step forward. In the past, you could only do routine inspections started in PropertyTree. Now you can select whether you've got an entry, an exit, or a routine. Okay, so coming into my inspections, I've got my lovely COVID close here. So I'm going to press on COVID close. This has brought across the address details of the property. It's set up the profile as a house, so it's a 3x2 with a garage. It's brought across the owner details. I'm doing this demo today on my iPad, but you could be doing it on your iPhone as well. The reason that we bring these phone numbers and email addresses across into the app is if you need to get in touch with the owner quickly, you can actually phone directly from the app now. No messing around, you can just go straight to the phone number, press on the phone number and give them a ring. You can also send information directly through your email as well, as long as you've got an internet signal from here, from this information. So it is important to make sure that you've got your info up to date within PropertyTree. So you'll see in here as well, I've got my tenancy details, the tenant details, expiry dates for the lease, how long the term is, and then we do have the facility to bring over key numbers. And these are the notes that we put in before for me to remember to have a chat with the tenants if they're there, to let them know that they need to start quickly finding a new property. Good news for you, we did find a new house and we've got a new home, which is great for the new dog. Otherwise we'd really be stuffed. So I go into my inspection now. I tap to start my inspection. And this is the stuff that, if you are familiar with PIM, is very much the same, but I'm going to focus in on a couple of things here. So with PIM, the first time you go to a property, you tweak the property to suit the exact flow of rooms and also the rooms that are associated with that property. So once I go in the first time, I press edit. I can move rooms up and down. So if I want to move that bathroom too, I press the little bars down here and I can move it down to next to the laundry. If I want to delete rooms, I can press on there, press delete. And what I'm doing is just tweaking the profile of this property to suit it, and that will stay in PIM for the lifetime or the duration of the tenancy. The other thing that I've got in here, which is really important, is my maintenance required, suggested improvements, our summary, and the tenant summary areas. You can have whatever headers you would like within PIM. It's one of the big features of Property Inspection Manager. You can tailor it to suit. But with PropertyTree and Property Inspection Manager, the maintenance required area will be put on the front page of the report, but you'll also now be able to put notes directly from the maintenance required back into the owner comments, the owner actions. From the tenant summary, when you put notes into the tenant summary, you'll be able to put notes for the tenants and tenant actions that go straight back in. I'll show you how that works. So what I will do today is I won't go through all the rooms and capturing notes and stuff, but I will focus on these maintenance required and tenant summary areas. So if I go into the maintenance required area, I've got two areas. I've got the notes and I've got additional notes. The notes are the general notes to go back to the owner, so they'll be able to see what's going on. So I'm just going to add some notes in here. So if I touch the notes screen, up comes my keyboard. As you know, I can use my keyboard to key in notes. I can use these little circles with crosses in to bring up your library of commonly used terms. So you can create a library of phrases that you use regularly and just drop them in. And I can either do that by bringing up the phrases. You'll see in here that there is a little filter. And if I press the filter, it says filter by relevance. So I can just put stuff in here that's only ever going to be used in maintenance required. I'll just drop it in there. You'll also see that there was a POK there, which is an abbreviation. If I press POK and then press the space bar, it puts the abbreviation as full up here. The comment is full. I can touch it and drop it in. So I can key in. I can use my shorthand words and phrases. The other thing that I can do is I can use the microphone on my keyboard to capture voice to text. So what I can do in here is just been to the property and noted that there is a very wobbly fence to the rear of the property. Would recommend that this is replaced within the next 6 months. And what I can do now is I can go into to take a photo as well. So I can press the camera, or I can press the photo bar to bring up the camera. And we've been doing some pretty interesting things with the camera. So let me just focus on this for 1 second as well. This always amazes me how this screen comes up with the sort of never-ending depth entry into my computer. I hope you don't see anything too bad, but have a look at this. You've got in here now 2 cameras. You've got one that's called photo, one that's called multi. The multi-shot allows you to take multiple pictures in a sequence without having to press use photo. So I can literally just go into multi and I can go click, 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 done. And that will capture photos one by one by one. It's a good thing if you're doing a scan of a room or of a garden to take your 10, 15 photos. You don't add any notes to it. The other option I've got is if I go back in here, if I just do the single shot photo, I'm just going to go around this screen a little bit here, but once I press the take picture, it comes up with some additional buttons. The one at the top corner is a new button and it's called edit. And if you press edit, you'll see that now you have some options to mark up the picture. So in the bottom right hand corner, I can press where it says arrow and it says, do you want to use the arrow or insert an arrow? Do you want a pen? Do you want to put some text in? I've got a few options in here. So what we can do now is mark up pictures. So I could put arrow, for example. I can point towards this fence. I can then say text, and I can put a text box in here, and I could put dodgy fence. Touch the screen, and then that's saved in here. I can even go back into there, and I can change the color, because obviously you can't see it in yellow. So you've got a lot more functionality in PIM with the camera at the moment. I'm going to do a separate video for this in the next day or so, which will be released to our videos, but it's a really, really nice feature that allows you to add more information into your picture. So I'm going to press done on there. I can also, if I want to, add some notes that don't go on the picture. So I could put in here, this fence is really bad and needs replacing. And that information goes above the photo. So I've got my photo with markup, highlighting things that need to be focused on, and I've got some notes above too. I hope that makes sense. Once I've gone through this and I'm happy with that picture, I can just press use photo, and then it will be in my inspection and go into my template. A couple of other things that I'd like to show you in here. On the top bar, you'll see in the top left-hand corner a little flash icon. So from PIM now, if I press the flash icon, it switches to automatic, so it will automatically bring on the flash. This will only work if you've got an iPhone with a flash or an iPad with a flash, but it just means you don't have to go in and out of apps. It's there ready to go. I can even change it to have the flash on permanently. So every time I take a picture, it will flash. Use photo. The other thing that you might see in this top right-hand corner is a little light bulb. And with the light bulb, it will switch on your torch. So if you're going around a dark property, you can have the torch on all the time, and that will help you to light up the area to take a better picture. Use photo. The final thing on here is just to make things easier. You'll see on the top bar, there is the access to your camera roll. So I can bring up my photo library. I can go into my photo library and I can import even more puppy spam into this inspection. Add photos. Done. So coming back into my inspection, I've got my notes for my maintenance required that goes back to the landlord. Additional notes will go into actions. So what I can do here is add actual actions for the landlord. Please, could you acknowledge receipt of this instruction and allow us to get 3 quotes? Done. So I've done my maintenance required stuff. I'm now going to go to my tenant summary. And in my tenant summary, I can put some notes in here. Just a reminder. In fact, I'll just delete that for a second because that wasn't very good. Just a reminder that you're going to have to find another property shortly. And the additional notes are actions. please could you tidy the rear garden because I've noticed that there is an awful lot of cockatoo poo in the backyard that needs cleaning up. I can then take a picture. I'm just going to take a quick photo on here. Bang. I'm going to use this as a cover photo. Press use photo. Done. So I'm going to go through my inspection report. I'll just do one in here. Final thing. Tick across, front gardens, fence, press the space bar. Fence needs repair replacing. Take one final picture. Over here. Use photo. Done. So I've gone back to my home page. I've now got my action button in the top right hand corner. If I go to the action button, I can choose to preview my inspection, which will show me what it's going to look like. And then I can go back in and change things within PIM if I want to, or I can submit the inspection. And once I press submit inspection, it will now create my inspection and it will send it back to PropertyTree. You'll see at the bottom there very quickly there was an uploaded thing. It's only on very quickly, but I'll be able to take you back to PropertyTree in a second and show you where it goes to. So I've got my inspection report. I've got maintenance required, suggested improvements now summary in there. I've got my table of my rooms. I've got my pictures of the things that I need to take pictures of. You'll see in there as well on this page, I've got this one with my notes on that photo, the arrow in there, and the dodgy fence. So that's been sent. I'm going to come out of my app now. So I've completed my inspection and I'm just going to stop the screen share from the iPad and I'm going to go back to my normal desktop. There we go. And if I go into PropertyTree now and refresh the screen, it should have changed the status of my inspection on COVID close to conducted. It's also now sent my tenant notes. That was my dodgy Siri bit in there. That wasn't very good. Just a reminder that you're going to have to find a property shortly. It's also included the actions for the tenant as well. Tidy the rear garden because of the cockatoo poo. I've got my owner notes of POK, which I put in there. Property is being well maintained. And there's a wobbly fence. Please could you acknowledge receipt? And I obviously get 3 quotes. So that's gone straight back into PropertyTree. And I've got my reports that have been sent back in as well. So that's the report that I've completed. It's gone back into PropertyTree. So I've got that in there. Back, one sec, let me go back. Okay, I need to delete that now. So I just need to move you down a little bit. That's better, thank you very much. Okay, now what I can do in here is I've now got send report to owner. I can press the send the report to owner. It creates an email. Property is being well maintained, so it's taking some of those notes from the maintenance notes, link the attachments to that and press send. So I've now finished my inspection and I can update to closed. Now, what I wanted to say to you is that we've always focused our integration with PropertyTree on maintaining PropertyTree as the central source of truth. So this PropertyTree is where you go to schedule. PropertyTree is where you will save your reports. PropertyTree is where you will do all of your, excuse me, I just got to admit a few more people, where you'll do all your administrative work. We don't have our cloud-based system where it stores everything and you schedule. We've got a very simple, straightforward workflow that allows you to send your scheduled inspections to your inspection app, complete your inspection on the app. Once you've completed the inspection, press submit. It pushes it back up into PropertyTree. it changes the status from a confirmed inspection to a conducted inspection. It pushes the inspection back into PropertyTree, so it's saved there. And then you can create your email to send that inspection to your landlord with the notes already into the body of the text of the email. So it's very straightforward, it's very easy, and it works. The big thing here is that you can also do your entry and exit as well. So very straightforward, very streamlined. What I would also just mention to you is that as we progress our relationship with PropertyTree, we are looking to do more, and we're looking to do more specifically around the area of capturing maintenance items, creating work orders, job tickets, that sort of thing. So this isn't a one-way street in any way, shape, or form. What I would really love from you is any insight or any concerns or any ideas of how to make this process better. We think we've got a very straightforward, simple integration that works. If there's anything else you need, let us know, because we can put it on our development path and see where we go from there. That's all I wanted to cover off today in this webinar session. If there are questions, I'd really appreciate it, as I mentioned before, sending those through the chat, or you can send an email to support@propertyinspectionmanager.com and we can reply to that, or I can give you a ring. So hopefully that's given you a little bit more of an insight, a bit of a run through. I'm sure Phil's been recording this in the background, so it will be available if you want to have a look at it again. But yeah, if there's anything else that you need, any more discussions you'd like to have, I'll be here. My name's Jeremy. My number is 0418 905 809 if you want to have a chat with me and give me a ring. Okay. Have a lovely day wherever you are. We did have 1 or 2 people signing in from the UK or registering from the UK. If you are there, thank you. It's probably something ridiculous like 3 o'clock in the morning. Somehow I doubt it. Anybody that's in New Zealand, thank you ever so much. To all the people in Australia, have a fantastic day and look forward to catching up soon. Thank you very much for your time. Cheers.